Okay, hey guys, I'm just going to recap a little bit about what I was saying earlier because I didn't have it on recording, and I feel like this is something that everybody should get on if they're at work or something. But we're going to start doing a little bit of a personal development, and what I was just saying is we don't want to sway from what the company and what the leaders are teaching as far as the business model. That's very important to stay with what they're doing. They're 200K for a reason. They show you how to do, your family calls and your three-way calls and all of the things to get to like your VIPs. Don't sway from that, okay? It's very important not to recreate wheels that are already working. What this is going to be all about is personal development and how to get you out of those fears and get you out of your comfort zone, which is scary for everyone. Even I don't care what leader you are, there's always going to be a fear of something that can hold you back or you push through it. So that's what these are going to be about. And a little bit of background about me, and I'm just recapping this because you guys already heard this, but now that we recorded it, is, I was second to the top of a company prior to joining this, and I was able to get to A to B without personal development. I knew nothing about it, but then I grabbed onto a really awesome girl who became kind of one of my mentors, and she taught me all about personal development. That got me from B to almost Z, okay? So it taught me how to get out of my own way. It taught me how to get thick-skinned to people telling me no. A team that wanted to constantly come to me and complain. It taught me a lot, and that's what you're gonna need to learn so that those things don't bother you on the daily to make you want to quit and go hide in a hole. And that's what a lot of this is. Now, mentors have mentors have mentors. I don't care how high up the mentor chain you are, you always find that next mentor. And this is one thing I learned. You don't want to stay necessarily in your normal circle that you're comfortable in, meaning, and nobody thinks they're higher or lower than anybody, but what I'm saying is, you want to train your team underneath you, but you want to be mentored by people those 2 or 3 steps above you. So you could train them too. So everybody should be setting their bars a little bit higher of who they spend a lot of their mental time with. Because if you're spending time with people, even family members or friends, even outside the business, I've changed through some of these people where I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that we just spent a lot of time gossiping and complaining and whatever. And that's not, as I changed out of that, I didn't want to be around all of that. So it's not, and I still love them, but I noticed I wasn't picking up the phone as much. I didn't want to hear all that. So it teaches you how to deal with a lot of those issues that pop up too. So I'm really big now. You need to be growing till the day you die, growing and feeding your mind. And so I've got a huge library in my office, but I did pull some of my books out. I still have a hard time with the reading part just because I am a squirrel. I could be reading and all of a sudden I'm thinking of what we're having for dinner, and then I go and I'm like, oh, 5 pages in, I have no idea what you just said. So I'm more of a listener. I like to watch the videos because I like to see what's going on, and I like to hear it. So I'm an avid video watcher, and I'm going to play something for you in a little bit, but these are some of the books. Now, this book shall be read over and over again. This is Eric Worre. I talked about it before. It's GoPro. I'm starting to put his videos in the group page because we lived off of this and our teams exploded. Okay, he's just a marketing genius, and not only is he a marketing genius, he pulls in all the professionals. He is you know, Tony Robbins, I went to 2 of his actual big events, and I went to Tony Robbins. He's like my favorite of all favorites. He cusses like a trucker. But see, I love Jesus, but I cuss a lot. But I, so I'm a cussing Christian. But I just, you know, that's just who I am. And so I can relate it doesn't bother me when someone's F-bombing this and because I'm like right on. But it will bother some. But if you could get past that, Tony Robbins is like pure personal development genius. He has studied so many different people. And if you guys need me to put names down, you know, in the groups or even in here in the chat, I will. But I follow him. I need to hear Tony. So when I went to his actual event, we bought 2 of his big box CD things. I need to hear it. I can't just read it. He's so motivating. Eric Worre does videos like on the daily. I started posting. Now, when I do that, don't think that at the end of these videos, he does have programs you can buy into. They all do. I don't buy into them unless I'm like, I have to have that. And then I have to tell my husband how bad I have to have that and how I need that for Christmas, birthday. Like, I have to convince him how bad I need it because I do have a lot in my library that he reminds me, well, did you watch all of those and listen up? No, then you need to do that before you get this. And I'm like, but I need that one because it's about social media. Mm-hmm. But anyways, all I'm saying is you guys don't take your tips from them, but you don't have to at the end go buy all their programs and stuff. I get so much information just watching their little video clips because it's about like, how do you get past the nose? There are certain techniques, like you want to be yourself in marketing for sure, but there's ways of allowing someone to like fly away into la la land and you never talk to them again, or there's ways to word something to keep them here and close the deal. So there are techniques done in a manner that will determine whether you're going to close them or I hate to say close them because I don't want to talk salesy, but there are, I mean, you are getting them on board. So if you leave it open-ended, a lot of times they're like, okay, bye. But if you tell them like certain words that they make them think about why they need to get this like now, they're gonna do that. So those are the differences. So this is literally like the networking Bible. I mean, it's not a big book. It's so informational. I would read this over and over and over again. And you can get these, go on. Actually, you can get the audios. A lot of these books are audioed for free on YouTube. If you type in Eric Worre GoPro, someone has posted the audio version, which is what I like. Okay, so just a little tip for you. Like Think and Grow Rich. You know, stuff like that. All the mentors, all the big people have read this book. Like I said, they have mentors. Like Tony Robbins' favorite mentor, which is one of my favorite mentors, is Jim Rohn. Look Jim Rohn up and follow that guy like the networking guru. He is amazing. And it's all about being person and it's changing your belief system and your mindset. Your mindset is golden. If you've got a closed off mindset, and you go to talk to somebody and you're like, oh, they're not going to afford $150. They're not going to, because you've just closed that deal on yourself. So this helps you open up your mindset, which is a big key to success, is having the right mindset. Don't let the nose bother you. You'll grow thick skin over that. Feel the fear and do it anyways. You guys, fear, seriously, no joke, is an illusion. It is a massive energy that doesn't mean anything. We put so much emphasis on what we feel is going to happen before it even happens, that we close ourselves off to the great, because we're so afraid of what could happen. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, well, I would say probably 10 out of 10, I've been through a lot of different scenarios and I'm still living. So it did not kill me. I'm just saying. Spiritual, religious influence. The network marketing is based on I almost said fear, and that is so not what it's based on. It's based on faith. A lot of it's based on faith. You have to have the faith before you actually see the money, right? Like, you have to have faith. I got in this. I love the products. I know what it's doing for me. I have faith that everybody else needs this product, and you need that strong belief system within you. And so I think anything, whatever, I don't want to go in a religious realm of this, as far as there's so many different types of people, but whatever your faith is, whether it be spiritual, which I link them all together, but spiritual or, you know, Christian or whatever, you definitely want to include that in your daily. I like, you know, some people don't like Joel Osteen. I love his I Declare. I used to read it every day. I'd have these Zooms. We'd start off with an I Declare, and you know, my husband and I, we love that, because whether some of you like it or not, I pray over my team, because I pray to God that everybody has an amazing, healthy, and business that doesn't interfere with their families, and that everybody's happy. So, and then there's the 7 habits of highly effective people. If you guys go onto Amazon too and pull up personal development, there's just like tons of books. You will never go book hungry. There's tons of books. And I'm telling you, you get rid of one and you're done. Not get rid of, but you know, you do one and then read another. You should be reading all the time, or listening, or whatever. And then the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And this one's I actually have the book, and then this is a workbook that goes with it, so you can like write things in. It has pages. Like, those are so important, you guys, because it gets you thinking. And then you want to have an organizer that matches who you are. Like, I just got the Law of Attraction organizer. It's amazing. Super excited about it. It has the guides of, makes you think about what you want and putting it out there, and journaling, and all of that's so important in our business. If you're just waking up every day by the seat of your pants, and next thing you know it's 4 o'clock and you've had none of this, or nothing written down, or you're just guessing your business. It's just you're just kind of guessing at it. Why not know what, you know, I'm a very unorganized person, but I do know when I write my goals down and then I back it up by personal development, that I get so much further than just by flying at the seat of my pants. Anybody have any questions so far? So one thing I wanted to say, and you guys open up anytime too. Like I said, I don't want to just hear myself talk the whole time, but I love YouTube. I live between Facebook and YouTube. Those are like my things. So what I like to do in the morning, so I'll go ahead and I'm going to screen share. So as we do these week by week too, it'll get a little more in depth, We'll get into the actual like meat of personal development. Right now it's just introducing like what the different things mean. I'm going to screen share. This thing always sits, this little bar always sits at the top. Let's see, of where I need to click. Okay, so I love motivational videos. So I'm gonna play one right now just so you can kind of hear what it does. Like, if I'm having a rough day or a rough patch, I'll play one of these. I'm just like, I get out of it, I'm like, yeah. So let me be quiet. And
we are not human beings, we are human becomings. We are becoming something. There's nothing you cannot be, there's nothing you cannot do, there's nothing you cannot have. How do you stay motivated? And I just say, it's not about motivation. Motivation is a fickle little emotional thing, and if you get too hungry, sometimes you're not motivated, or if you get too tired, sometimes you're not motivated, or if it's been a long day, you lose motivation. So that's why motivation doesn't matter to me. It's about the discipline. It's about the discipline of holding the course, knowing what you have to do, and making it happen. There's going to be bad days, there's going to be dark days, but you got to embrace it, because that pain is what makes you stronger. Success is not measured on the days when the sun shines. Success is measured on the dark, stormy, cloudy days. And if you can't absorb failure, you're never going to meet success. It's a mindset mind that takes advantage of that opportunity. You will not be confronted with opportunity. You must take advantage of it. So if you don't take advantage of your opportunity, you'll never realize your dreams. Whether you want them or not is irrelevant. You don't know that until you achieve it. All that positive thinking and how you think and what you determine your destiny to be, it works. You must prepare your mind to be happy. You gotta take action now. You gotta take action now. Make today your masterpiece. And so I'm passionate about personal growth because for that person who says, wow, I had an opportunity, I wasn't ready. If you're growing, you're always ready. Because after I intentionally started growing, I made a commitment to grow as a leader. I started writing, I became an author. I developed growth resources for other people. I founded my first company. I began training conferences. Everything I can think of that has ever been good in my life was a result of the fact that I started personal growth in my life.
You have to be willing to be the only person for a moment. And that moment might be a minute, it might be a month, it might be a year, it might be 10 years. You have to be willing to be the only person that sees your vision. You gotta be willing. You gotta be willing to do it by yourself.
There's only one you, and you've only got one today. One now. Tomorrow it's gone. Okay, tomorrow it's a different day. People spend their whole life planning on living their dreams. You see what, you gotta take action. You gotta attack the day.
You have to be willing to understand that at times, as your vision is coming out of you, it's not gonna be clear for anyone else but you.
I don't care who you are. Diligence. It's no substitute for working hard. It is a long, curvy road. You cannot necessarily be concrete about what your vision is, about next steps. But you've got to commit every day to becoming the best you can be. More capable, more committed, more alive. Life will take off for you then, when you choose for it to. You have not so chosen as yet. You have procrastinated, prolonged, protracted, protested. Now it's time that you promulgated and produced what you have been promised. What's something that you've done recently in the name of growth where you are comfortable being uncomfortable? If your answer is, I don't know, that's a sign that you need to be working on something. You've always got to be growing or else you're going backwards. You got to move towards your goals today. You got to get up every day and say to yourself, every morning, I will do today what others don't, so I'll have tomorrow what others won't. You know what to do. You're just not doing it. You have a responsibility to achieve for yourself. And the only way that this is going to happen is with self-inspiration, self-determination, and hard work that starts before everybody else gets up and after everybody else has gone to sleep. Negative belief system leads to negative results and the opposite. The deeper you believe in yes, the more positive your results will be. We're making decisions every day, and those decisions are forming our actions. Those actions are forming our habits. Those habits are forming our character. That character is forming our destiny.
Self-doubt creates this distance between you and the people that you love. Self-doubt creates distance between the dreams that you have, where you are now. And so if you have greater confidence, you will be able to close the gap between where you're at and all of the things that you dream about.
Failure is a part of the learning process. What's the risk of failure? What, you'll be embarrassed? How do you distinguish failure from learning? In your whole life, failure implies that that the game stops, right? If it's part of you're failing and then you learn, then that learning is part of the moving forward, right? So that is what the process is like. Fail, learn, move forward, and constantly do that because you're cutting edge. You're going where people haven't been before in inventiveness. That's exciting to those people. So that's a different kind of approach to life, right? It's a different way of being.
He said, when you change the way you look at something, what you look at will change. Change your perception. Do you know the reason most people don't make decisions? Because they can't see how they're going to get there. So what do? They keep doing things that they can see how they're going to get there. And that's why their life never really changes. When you get up every day, know your priorities. Say every day, I will do today what others don't, so I will have tomorrow what others won't. Don't let your phone, don't let the TV, don't let your friends knock you off what are the most important things to get done today.
As Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it. Now, what makes me laugh is I know right now some of the people listening to that, they say that's bullshit. They're just limits to what humans can do. And I get that response. I understand it. I used to respond to everything like that. I used to see only the difficulty. I used to see only the ways in which it couldn't work out. And I couldn't see. I was literally blinded by fear. I was blinded by some bizarre sense of pride that wanted to justify my limited existence, that didn't want to have to face that I could be doing more, that I could be more, that my life was somehow less than what it could be. And so I would laugh at quotes like that. And I know right now, I have the chills. I know right now there are people that are laughing at that. And all they can think about are the limits. All they can think about are the things that prove him wrong. And guess what? He is wrong. There really are limits. But if you fucking waste your time focused on that, you're never going to create the momentum that you need to actually make something come true in your life. You can build virtually anything, but if you get hung up on the fucking virtual part, if you let that stop you, if you immediately go to the things that ultimately limit you and hold you back, that is where you're going to stay forever. Because if you argue for your limitations, guess what, my friend? They become yours. And congratulations, you now get to live in that box. You get to live in that self-defined prison. But if, like Teddy Roosevelt said, instead of that, you keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground, and you don't act like somebody who can't see that, sure, there are limits, there are edges to this universe, but you're looking not at that. You're looking at how do you really execute. You're dreaming big, and you're remembering that your feet ultimately is that contact point. It is where the rubber meets the road. It is that moment of doing. And so if instead of rejecting it because your feet must stay planted on the ground, remember that in keeping your feet on the ground, that's the moment of action. That's the moment of doing something about it. That's the moment of seeing the fucking possibilities and then moving, doing something, making it real. So right now, give up on those weird mental mechanisms that make you actually want to fight for the things that aren't possible, to get people to believe in it, to get people to understand why you've chosen to stand still. Instead of that, convince yourself that you should be moving. Go do what you know you're destined to do.
Well, guys, I didn't know that there was cussing in that one, but so sorry about that. But wow, okay, so I'm going to keep this open because I want to show a couple other little things, real small, but how awesome, like that, those always get me, because if anybody thinks that someone started in anything in life, whether it be sports, Olympics, music, rock stars, 200K in our company. If you think that they jumped from that ground to 200K or to the Olympics, do you know they had to fight blood, sweat, and tears to get there? And there's only a small percentage that will do that, because we get in and we can't do it mindset, and we also are, so we let fear get in the way, but we also can be lazy minded too. Like, we don't want to do all the hard work, we just want to get there. So one thing that I learned from being second to the top of a company and the roller coaster ride I have to do to get there, I was here, then I'd be here, then I was here, then I'd be there. And I was like, whoa, I can't catch a break. No, that's called building. It's not that I can't catch a break. It's part of the journey. And to get to that 6-figure income, and let me tell you, it tastes really sweet. But what's sweeter about the money of that is the journey that got me there. And I was at the top, but I mean, I made pretty good money. And the start over definitely reminded me how I used to make really good money. But, it's part of the journey, and it's so worth it. And it's like, this stuff tears me up, so I'm sorry if I get emotional on you guys, but sorry. Who you become to get there, that's the payout. It's not the dollar bill. It is who you become to get there. When I started in the other one, I was a spoiled, rotten stay-at-home mom. I did not have the sad story. My husband worked for BMW as a service manager. He made $150,000 a year. I stayed home with my one single daughter. And when she turned 13, I was like bored. What am I going to do with myself? And that's how I came into this type of business. So I didn't have that struggle. So doing this business, and then when my husband decided to own his own shop, he dropped that kind of, paycheck to own his own shop, which was a build from the ground up. So I went from having all of this to really like knowing what it feels like not to have that. And, you know, so going through my first journey, we didn't go to church. My husband's family is Mormon, and he was kind of the black sheep, and I was so mishmash with religion. And so we just, for like 15 years, we just didn't even, you know, we were just good people. We, you know, as long as we do good. But we went to our first conference, which started out with a worship service, and it was like the craziest thing ever, like life-changing. And from that moment on, and adding in my faith and personal development and growing the thick skin and going through all of the changes and talking to the right people, and the more money I made, the more I got to help other people. And, you know, I say this not to brag, but my husband and I got to stand at the beginning of the line of Walmart one year and paid for everybody that walked through that line for their Christmas. And that showed me what money could do to help other people. And my mindset started changing from the spoiled stay-at-home mom that got everything to this like love for community, love for other people, and wanting to help people, and learning that that's what this is all about, is to help others do this and get that, to do that for themselves. And so you need to grow and learn as you go, and don't be afraid. Like he said, I know he threw a couple of cuss bombs out there, but I really liked what he said, because it's like you have to fall down and get back up in order to keep moving up that ladder. You're not going to have a smooth sailing ride. It is going to be bumpy. You're going to go through this where in 4 years, saying the same thing about this product, which you'll still feel the product's amazing, but it's going to come to a time where you're going to feel like, I keep saying the same things over and over again, and that's okay, because there's going to be new people that need to hear it. So you're going to need to keep yourself in a motivation. It's not your upline's job to motivate you. I fall in the trap myself. Sidelines down, whatever. At the end of the day, it's you. And if you stick to it and you stay consistent and you grow as you go, you guys are going to be at the top of this thing. So one thing that I listen to in the mornings, I'll wake up. You can do devotional. I do that too. But let me see. I'm very big on YouTube, like meditations and stuff. I put my headphones on, and I love the I am affirmations. Nothing about stop eating it wrong. That I probably should watch. But anyways, let's see. We're not going to listen to, I'm just going to show you what it sounds like.
In 1977, I met a French chef. He said to me, cooks cook.
Okay. So I love these.
The words I am are two of the most powerful words in the human language. It doesn't matter the dialect or culture. Whatever you put behind these words becomes your reality. I am. I am healthy. I am wealthy. And I am wise. I am brilliant. I am magnificent. I am genius. I am exuberant. I am happy.
So you get the idea. So that, you know, that's an hour long of that, and you think it gets repetitive, but like it's listening to that over and over again, it does something. All of a sudden you just start feeling that way. You just start feeling everything that you're hearing, and it gives you that confidence that you need. I love those. I like the gratitude ones. Because
Right.
gratitude's huge. You guys need to be grateful every day for everything that you wake up. I find 10 things to be grateful for. Sometimes it's like my dogs and my bed, and I'm so grateful I'm like got to sleep in today, and like just anything, but be grateful. But I love these. Like,
Thank you for my strong legs. Thank you for my strong muscles. Thank you for the ability to taste. Thank you for a healthy appetite.
that I do have.
Thank you for delicious foods.
But the things you don't even think to be grateful for. Like when I first started doing my gratitudes, I used to think, well, okay, so thank you for my husband, thank you for my daughter, thank you for my dogs. I was like, okay, I've already said all those thank yous. What else? Like, you don't even realize what we take for granted that we should be thankful for. Thank you for my legs. Thank you that I have eyes I can see. Thank you for the air that I breathe. Thank you for, another day. Like, those are so important to be grateful and thankful for. You'll if you do this stuff, you guys are gonna feel the shift. All that negative, you don't want to hear negative people anymore. And I still, to this, it's just human nature. I get caught up in it, and I have to turn it around. But one thing I do, if I have a really bad day, one thing that I've learned is to wake up the next day as a brand new day. Do not carry yesterday into today, and know that you have a clean slate every day to change that. You can change that. So if I had a bad day where someone was just really awful to me and it really got to me all day and I couldn't shake it, I made sure that I knew the next day I wasn't carrying it into today. And it really cut it off. And it was such a big help when I started learning how to do that. So those are just like some little tips that I do. And then usually in the evening, I like to do, let me see, I have someone over here. Joe Tracy, he's pretty good. I like to do I usually pick ones that are not super long. Like attracting abundance. I like to do meditation. Or ones that just, he's really good, his voice, yes.
Do not listen to this recording while driving or operating
and
machinery.
And he means that because I fall asleep.
Thank you.
I don't even, how does this work if I'm sleeping? But it does. Again, if my headphones on, whatever, kids are sleeping, whatever, my daughter's 20, but I'm just saying.
Hi, this is Joe Tracy, and welcome to this hypnotic meditation
And then I'm sleeping.
for manifest.
But I always, when I wake up out of that, I always feel good. I always feel because he does a lot of positive talk. It's basically, a lot of us put blocks on money. Now, money is not, people put blocks on money and it's funny because I still even do it where we were taught not to be greedy or not to think that we're worth having all this money. What are you going to do with all this money? And money, honestly, you guys, it's a piece of paper. Okay. So it literally is there's so much meaning in that piece of paper, but it's just a piece of paper. What is it that you really want in life that paper buys you? Trust me, I'll tell you what, the one saying, oh, money isn't everything, those are usually broke people that don't have it and they don't know what they're talking about. Because money can give you so many things. Money can give you ways to help other people. Money can help you go to Africa and build schools for children. You we stop ourselves from thinking that we're worthy of creating an abundant life. And honestly, with whatever you guys believe in, whether it's the universe, whether it's God, we stop ourselves with certain thought processes that, God doesn't want you to be flamboyant with money. That's true. There's certain things that we're not supposed to be doing, but that doesn't mean you're cut off from making as much money in the world as you want to make, because so many people need help that you're going to see. That's why you want to make more money. It's not just so that, having nice cars, it's okay to want to have nice cars and a nice house and everything. But when you start changing everything to get to that money anyways, that's where you're going to see your whole shift anyways. It's not going to be about having tons of materialistic things. It's going to be about going to that orphanage to buy the whole entire place sweaters for winter, and it feels so good to be able to do that and help others. And it's an amazing ride, guys. So does anybody have any questions? No questions?
I don't, but I wanted to show you something that I was looking for a different book because I wanted to show you something that I still have here.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
that one that you gave us.
Yes.
Marco go find his that Gio gave him, but of course this is Marco's. Look at it.
Way to take care of it, Marco.
Hey, at least he was reading it.
Right? Absolutely. Absolutely.
And this one is my favorite. I don't remember where I got this, but I don't know. Have you read this one, John Maxwell?
Yes. Yes.
I love this one.
Yeah. There's all
really good.
Guys, you'll never run out of books, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I like the ones for the ones that like the 5-second rule, or what was the one about the half an hour? I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's about showing you that how much, if you took half an hour of real time, income producing time, how much you can really get done in a half an hour if you don't waste your time. So stuff like that, especially for people who work full time and have to do this on the side, like it's so doable if you do it correctly. So does anybody else have anything to say? Or
the other one I really like is I think we were talking about it in the chat, the 100 rule or 100 times rule, 10 times rule.
That's a good one too.
That one's really, really good.
I think we should start implementing some sort of like book of the month or whatever until we get to those spots.
I really liked when we did that in the past because it also helped to keep me accountable because I knew that we were going to talk about it. So I knew that I needed to get my part done.
Since it's kind of new in this group, which one do you think we should start off with? Maybe like the GoPro, or?
I haven't read GoPro.
You haven't?
That would be good.
Let's do GoPro. I'm a big Eric Worre fan because like I said, I've been to his big 3-day events and it's like changed everything. So, you guys want to do that, McKenna?
She's probably in the bathtub.
No, she didn't. She just gave me thumbs up. Okay, so I'm going to write this down in the group. If we all start with this, because it's a really easy read. It's a really easy listen. Because as you could tell, actually, I think that my original one I ended up giving to somebody. I bought he was having one of those like $4 sales, like if you buy in bulk. And I bought like a huge number for my team. That went to, like if they went to conference or if they did something like that, then they would get a book. I love giving these type of things away for contests and stuff because it's so empowering. Okay, there's another one that's really good. Jen, I'm going to butcher her name. You know where I'm going, Rachel? You Are a Badass. That, I know the title, whatever, but that's like, sorry, I'm Dobby. You can't bring your kids around me.
He covered his ears. He knew.
Oh my God.
You guys have to listen to me with your head, but you guys cannot bring me around your children. Like, I don't even bring me around my children when my daughter was little. Like, hide your children.
Hide your wife. Hide your children. Hide your wife.
Exactly. But that's the name of the book. It really is, and it's a good book. It's really empowering. It's a pretty good empowering women's book about how to be confident, how to just know you are this, and
All right.
get out of your own head to go do things. Rachel's got her like concert muffs on her baby. Hello? Oh, it's Gio. That scared me. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, yeah. Make sure every nice, inspirational, personal development training to put muffs on your kids that they can't hear anything.
Now you know why I go outside before I do videos.
Oh, and you guys need to. Okay, so I messed up my first recorded experience because I was using the word depressed. I guess I didn't realize that was a medical term, so I had to go back and do the whole. But I started practicing. Get your guys's 800 number or free conference call HD number. It's free. And you guys need to do your experience call on it.
I did mine. I just don't know how to share it yet.
Well, yours should just, okay, so when you, in your email, after you recorded it, right?
Uh-huh.
So then you should get an email that will tell you what the recording number is and that PIN number, and that's what you share with them. You could you could even put it on your pictures to say 24-hour recorded call, and then put that so, and I've done like 50, so I have to make sure I don't lose the right one, because you kind of mess up. But it's such good practice to do that over and over again, to like share your story, and that's what you really should be. When people say, tell me more about this, what is, like I already shared mine today with a lady who asked me, wow, you look so amazing. What's this Thrive thing you're doing? Oh my gosh, I just did. I don't even care if it's 5 years old. You could still say, oh my gosh, I just did my call actually. Can you listen to it and let me know what you think about it? I'm kind of nervous about putting it out there. And because we used to do that, okay? We used to have these big, humongous cards in a previous company to pass out. And if you weren't a big blitzer to go pass out your cards, we used to do, like, if we were sitting in the drive-through, go, oh my gosh, I'm in a contest. Can you take my card? And I'll take a picture of you. Like, and then say, well, you can have that for your girls. Yes, exactly. So we have those cards. So that's what you do, is you do the whole, I'm in a contest, and I, get it in people's hands however you can, and people will not fight. I promise you, we are in our head too much. Fear is an illusion. So anyways, does anybody have anything else to share, say, do? Okay, we're going to do these once a week because I love them, and we're going to, I think we'll start out with GoPro. And I'll put, give it a, what? Oh, shower. And then I'll put like, there you go. No.
And can you put that on the unlimited page?
Yeah, so I'll put that on the unlimited page, and then like what from page to page we should be read through by next week. So
is it like a chapter, or like how does that work? It just needs to be read by next week, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would probably just do, especially since this is kind of a holiday month. I don't want to. You need to read 10 chapters in one week.
I'm not a fast reader, so I would get behind. Just to be honest.
This is when I'd be very interested to see how hard it would be to put down. Though I'm telling you, it's going to give you so many tips about.
I read a book called E Squared. It was my first personal development book. I literally could not put it down. I could not.
Yeah.
I was like taking it everywhere with me.
Write notes down.
And I hate to read. I hate it.
Reading.
I have not been a big reader as an adult, or as a child, but as an adult, I'll read more. But it's the getting that time is so. I mean, if we could pace it to where, like she said, like a chapter a week, and even if we could like go through and like share our notes and stuff like that, through that chapter, so we can go into depth.
Fast. We don't have to go fast. So as long as we're getting bits and pieces between this and during the day listening to some of those like little videos I put in there, because that's also his tips and tricks in there too. You'll get an idea of where he's just accumulated a lot of good resource and information for how to become a network marketing professional within your company.
So is this a book that would like kind of, if I was reading another book on like law of attraction and stuff like that, like we talked about, I wouldn't get confused with the two?
No, this is totally different.
Okay.
This is not law of attraction. This is like almost like teaches you how to quote unquote interview people or make people talk about what they like. It's ways to talk to people and find out what they need versus what you're trying to tell them. It's like that type of thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
And that's what we're being taught anyways, but there's just some formats in there that I literally used to, especially doing social media. And if I were on the phone with somebody, I would make myself sound like I'm not reading it, but I would literally go from 1 to 10 and ask them those questions. And literally it would just be like, they would respond to that. So it's good stuff.
Well, and also like, even if we could break it down, like say like, however many chapters there are and split it up between 4 weeks to where each week, like we'd get a book done within a month. You know what I mean?
Right. I think that would be perfect. So
yeah.
This is one of the small, obviously, like you've got this one and then you've got this one. So obviously this one would be a little bit longer. So, and some of them, like, I'll get into it and like, my thing is finishing. Like I get so into it. I've read all the way through a couple of times just because it's that type of book. But like a lot of these, I've literally like read half each. I'll read half and then go into another book. Like I don't know why it's hard for me to finish a book. But like I said, I ended up starting to listen to them more because I absorb more that way, me personally. But at least when you read it, you can take notes, you can highlight, you can do things and go back to things. So yeah, but I want to see if that thing's on here. Maybe it is a different day, but I thought it was for today. So it's like in 1 minute. So I'm gonna stop recording this right now.